All right, so we have learned several things about triangles. We've learned how to find a base and height on a triangle. We have learned how to name triangles. And then today, we're gonna add one thing, super easy. It's just you've got to know this. So, again, go to your next empty page. Go to your next empty page. All right, that's supposed to happen before class. All right, so like I said, we've talked about how to find base and height. Okay, that's you look for it to be perpendicular. And these are the three places. We've talked about the different kinds of triangles. And then today, we're gonna look at inside of a triangle. Okay, so write this in your composition book. Inside of a triangle, okay, the angles inside it are always gonna equal 180 degrees. Okay, so write that in your composition book. No matter what size of the triangle, if you add the angles together inside it, it's gonna be 180. Okay, so write that in your composition book. The sum of the angles inside a triangle always equal 180. So now that you know that, it's easy to figure out, like if you have two angles and you don't have the third, it's easy to figure out the third. If you have two angles inside of a triangle but you don't have the third, how would you figure out the third one? Caroline?
You would add the two angles and then subtract.
Right, you would add what you have, and then so for instance, if you had these two angles and you were missing this one, all you had to do was add 70 and 30 together and say, oh, well, that's 100, so the other angle must be 80 because it's got to equal 180 altogether. Okay, so I'm going to give you this little sheet. We're going to do this together, this little strip, and then we're going to glue this in your composition book after we do it. So we've just got some triangles that are missing their third angle, and we're going to figure out what that third angle would be. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Okay, remember that little box? That tells you that it's 90 degrees without having to say 90 degrees, because a right angle is 90 degrees. So what would be the missing angle in that triangle? If one of them's 90, one's 45, and it's missing one. What would be the missing angle amount? Mason?
45.
45. Right, because 45 and 45 is 90, plus 90 is 180. Okay, look at the next one. We have an equilateral triangle. So what would be our missing one? Oliver?
60.
60. Now, I want you to notice something. An equilateral triangle has three equal sides. Look at its three angles.
They're also equal.
They're also equal. And so when you have an equilateral triangle, you don't even have to think about it. It's going to be 60, 60, 60. And so you don't even have to think about that one because it's always going to be that. Okay, number 15, we have 95 and 55 as two of our angles. So what would be our missing angle on that one, Caroline?
30.
30 is our missing angle. And then on the last one, we have an 80 and a 40. And then it's missing one. So what would be our last angle that we're missing there, Mason?
60.
60, exactly. Okay, so let's glue that in. So underneath where you wrote that the sum always has to be 180. So this is not hard, it's just you just have to know that it has to be 180. And so that's all we're going to concentrate on today is just that knowing that the inside of a triangle, no matter how big it is, its angles are always going to equal 180 when you put it all together.
That's easy.
Okay, after you get that glued in, I'm going to give you some triangle possibilities, and I want you to tell me, could these be the angles inside of a triangle? Okay, could this be a combination that would be inside of a triangle? Okay, could I have a triangle that has 60 degrees, 60 degrees, and 55 degrees? Could I have a triangle that had this amount, Mason?
Yes.
60, 60, and 55?
No.
No. Yeah, the answer is no. because that doesn't equal 180, plus you already know that an equilateral is 60, 60, and 60, so that, we couldn't have 60, 60, and 55. Okay, what about a 90, a 60, and a 30? A 90, a 60, and a 30. Could I have that inside of a triangle? Is Julia? Yes, because it does equal 180. Okay, what about 70, 70, 40? What about 70, 70, 40? What do you think, Caroline? You can, because it equals 180. Yeah, if it equals 180, yes. If it doesn't, no. Okay, and what about 45, 45, and 100? 45, 45, and 100. Could that be inside of a triangle, Oliver?
No.
No, because it doesn't equal 180. Basically, it has to equal 180. Okay, and different kinds of shapes have different kinds of degrees inside, but all we're going to concentrate on is triangles.
What would happen if you